Ain't no boys here, just men. Just men with a podcast. Welcome to the Three Body Narrative. We are your hosts, Pradyum, Aaron, and Naeem. And today we are going to be discussing and delving into that Oscar nominated movie, Sinners. Yes, it's not about tennis, but what is it about? Well, Sinners is a supernatural horror drama about twin brothers who return to their Mississippi hometown in the 1930s and open a blues juke joint for their community. What begins as a hopeful fresh start quickly turns dangerous when a mysterious supernatural presence arrives, turning their big opening night into a fight for survival. Don't know why you did that. All right. Okay. Were you the supernatural presence?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Perhaps I was.
Or
Yeah.
he was joining the clan. Who knows?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No.
Is
That's
that
probably
blood? I mean, was it a white hoodie before you went and decided to massacre?
There's ever a likelihood of someone joining the clan. It's Pradyum amongst the three of us.
Thanks for that. All right.
Yeah. No throwing under the bus on this podcast, please.
Correct. We're so friendly out here. Okay, let's start with the ratings for this movie. I'm going to start with mine first. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I was hesitant between a 3.5 and 4. It's probably going to be between a 3.5 and 4, but it's more leaning towards a 4, so that's why I gave it 1. I loved first and foremost the music and the score. Like by far the best thing about the movie. I love some of the acting, especially by the supporting cast. Pretty fun overall. Some fun moments. I love the villain. What I probably didn't like as much was the third act. Probably just like I wouldn't say the final 15 minutes, because the final 15 minutes are different endings or whatever. But I would say the the sort of effects in the first ending was not the best, at least from my end. And the second ending was just a bit like left field, and maybe I thought it could have been done better. I totally loved the last ending and how the movie basically ended. Perfect ending that way. But yeah, just that last sort of post that final battle and up until the final ending, which is where we see Sammy's final arc. I think that bit is something that I didn't particularly like, and that's why -1. But overall, yeah, a really fun movie. I didn't expect going in how much of horror elements there were. I didn't actually know what the movie was about. I just knew that there was a sort of twin role by Michael B. Jordan, all of that. But yes, I'm not a huge fan of horror movies, but for this, I was pleasantly surprised that I was able to stomach it for most part of it. Yep.
Cool. I'm up next. I'll get the ratings out of the way first. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It is a very good movie, in my opinion. It's a slow burn. Like the beginning, the first 30 minutes, perhaps. Obviously, very critical in terms of the character building, but not ideal when you're taking this movie as a deadline and you kind of have to like review it the next day. So, and you have like last few hours
I was
left.
like, what deadline did the movie have? I was
Yeah.
like, was it because
So-
it had to be done in one day?
So
And
we decided on reviewing this movie last week,
Yeah.
but during the week, it's been a busy week, and the weekend also turned out to be quite busy. So there were the only option I had was after returning from a gathering last night. I kind of had to
Is
start
this
watching
a
movie
clan
around
gathering?
like
Was it
1:30.
was it a
Then
clan
1:30
gathering? Huh?
1:30 a.m. clan gathering. Yeah, right. No, it was a juke opening, juke night opening kind of a thing that we had.
They had to go massacre those at the juke.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, considering the kind of movie this is, it's not ideal if you're not well rested, or like, you don't have the energy to kind of, because initially the start of the movie is quite slow, and I was under this thing of how am I gonna get through this movie, because I was really tired. But I think once that initial 30-minute period kind of ends, and you kind of get into the part where they're opening up the place, things like really kind of get going, and it gets really interesting to the point where, um I think until the end I was like, the sleep was gone. It was, I was fine to kind of get along with it. So very strong performances for sure. Michael B. Jordan, uh even the side characters that are there. I think all in all, the story, the obvious aspects of it, but also the symbolic things that are there, right? Those are really good. The music, you definitely touched upon, that is brilliant as per my this thing. And yeah, we'll jump into the symbolism and how that's kind of mashed up with horror, and how that makes this movie like really interesting for me, because horror generally these days doesn't really kind of like scare me off more often than not. It's like they try and put jump scares in, and it doesn't really like throw me off as much. But in this case, I think because you're kind of um, not necessarily rooting for certain characters, but you kind of more invested in them. You you're kind of just like not sure what's going to happen in the next moment, and you're kind of guessing. It keeps you guessing, kind of a thing. So I really like that about the movie. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Definite watch. Be well rested. Watch it at night. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think also what was pretty cool was like, because it was late in the night, I was using the earphones to kind of watch so that I wouldn't disturb anyone else. I think that really added to the experience for me.
Nice. Okay. And Aaron?
Yep, I think I'll start with my rating first. I think I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think the one thing that I would say is I don't know if I could really call it a horror movie, because I mean I felt it kind of lacking in the horror aspect, and I guess Praddy saying he could stomach it says a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I think the one bit where probably the movie kind of raised my expectations in terms of the horror aspect was when they show the initial bit before the whole kind of events played out from the previous night. He walks into the church and you kind of see
Yeah.
those flashes. You kind of felt like, oh, okay, this is going to be something that probably is a little bit more scary than it eventually turned out to be.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think it was still a good watch. I think you mentioned it, or you mentioned it. The acting was quite nice. There was the music in it was also very good. I think even in terms of the actors displaying their talents, in terms of the singing and instrument playing, also was really nice. I don't know who mentioned it, but I think the main villain also was a very nicely portrayed and well done. I like the tap dancing thing, and the whole group of them singing and stuff. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So all in all, a pretty good watch. I just kind of felt like being categorized as a horror movie. This kind of was like, was it a horror movie? So that's the only reason I probably kind of didn't give it a 4, but it was still a good movie.
Yeah, so when you're talking about that church scene at the start, and when it happened, and there were those initial jump scares of that noise, right? I was like, shit, what did I get myself into? Because I was like, why was Sinners the only thing? Couldn't I watch like one battle after another or whatever? Like
it's a movie that you suggested as well, which is what was
no,
surprising.
because the problem was I suggested it because that's the only thing that you guys had, right? Because I wanted one battle and the others, and none of the others were there. So we're like, okay, let's go with Sinners. I didn't know, like, honestly, I didn't know it was going to be a horror movie per se. I knew that things. So the way I relate to it after watching it is it reminds me of the Jordan Peele movies. So Get Out and
Mm.
Us, predominantly Us.
Yeah.
It reminds me
Yeah.
predominantly of that, where like it's horror in the sense that it's this very eerie environment and eerie feeling that you get. And it's I guess horror for the kind of person that you are, or that kind of community per se. And yeah, there is some amount of blood and gore, but like honestly, they didn't show much of the blood and gore of eating, right?
Yeah.
They didn't, except for I think cornbread munching down on that guy who they put out there to die. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? So cornbread was pretty this thing. And of course then the final battle had a lot of, I think, blood and gore on that. But
Yeah.
and of course Mary Mary and Stack, that scene had.
Yeah.
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 Um,
I think maybe it
That was
could
like that
fall into a
escalated
more
quickly.
slasher kind of thing than a horror thing. I
Yeah,
don't know.
true.
Yeah. So for me, the horror was just more the eeriness, as well as I think it was more societal horror than anything else. Just
Yeah.
the horror of being in that community at that point in time.
Yeah.
For that being said, I mean, the kind of the prevalence of the community during that time and being able to openly do stuff was pretty interesting. But I guess Mississippi also was probably that kind of place where the population was largely uh,
Yeah.
you know,
It
black.
seemed like, yeah. And also, I guess, I don't know in terms of true events how accurate it was, but like you had Bo Bo Chen or Bo Chow, whatever that guy's name
Yeah.
is. So it kind of showed that there was quite a mixed culture over there, as opposed to being uh, dominated by the whites at that time. And I think even the Indians were roaming around. They showed that scene as well. So I think there was still quite a mixed culture over there, and so probably that's why there was a little bit more of an openness. Because I think they even mentioned that these guys came back from Chicago because they were still
Yeah,
not so welcome wherever they were. So yeah,
they were serving Al Capone, as far as I know. That's their background, and I think that's where they came from.
Yeah,
Yeah, I the other thing was that didn't, I don't know, maybe you guys caught it, was when we first meet Remick, right? He just appears out of nowhere and he's already like sort of smoky
fire.
and this thing
burned.
on fire. Yeah. So I didn't, it didn't hit me at all that was just because he was a vampire. I just thought like he jumped off a bandwagon and he's just like dusty, right? Because he does say that he's running away from the Native Americans, right? And the Choctaws. So I was like, okay, this guy's just, but of course there was an element of this guy's the bad guy. I kind of knew it, but it didn't strike me until I watched it again. Like, oh yeah, he was basically getting fried. And the fact is that when the Native Americans said that they had to go back is because the sun was setting and you can't be out there when the vampires are at the peak powers, right? So yeah. So I mean, overall, the horror elements were there, and I think, I mean, not, I mean, the horror elements were then like certain way. I don't think it was the true horror sense. And I mean, that's why I was managed to get through it.
Yeah, it did feel a lot like it was a Jordan Peele movie, like because of the way things kind of pan out, and obviously a lot of symbolism used in the movie. Ryan Coogler, I'm not quite sure if I've watched any of his other movies except
You
for
have.
Black Panther.
Oh yeah, okay. I was about to say Creed as well. I'm sure you know.
No, I'm not actually. I haven't watched
Oh,
Creed. I don't.
okay, okay.
I haven't
Yeah,
watched that series. Um, I think so. The Black Panther series is probably the only ones that I've watched of this movie. I don't know if there's anything else because I know Get Out was definitely Jordan Peele, and I think
Hmm.
even the other one,
Us,
I forget.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like even those movies I know are Jordan Peele, and this felt very much in line with those. It felt in a way sort of a psychological drama, not drama, but like horror.
Yeah,
But not at
drama.
that level. Not at that level. Obviously, that's
Another
like there are a
period
lot
piece.
of years in there. Um, but yeah, I think that's what I was confused about, if this is a Jordan Peele movie or it's Ryan Coogler, and then towards the end, obviously, kind of like I said, I was sleepy, so um, I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't I didn't
Uh,
make the effort of going immediately and checking if this
I
was.
mean, it is a Ryan Coogler movie because it's got Michael B. Jordan. I think every movie that he's directed, except for maybe Judas and the Messiah, I don't think he's there in that. But otherwise, Creed, he's there. Black Panther, of course, he's there. And this, he's there. I think one of his earlier ones, some Fruit Whale, something, he was there. So yeah, so that's a strong collaboration. But I mean, talking about Michael B. Jordan, I mean, I loved how seamless the twin. See, I mean,
The
sometimes
polarity of the characters, and yet how it kind of comes
no,
across very
more
naturally.
in terms of just the cinematography and just the fact that like they're standing next to each other and you do not know the difference, right? Like that you do not see the fact that it's probably like a merge of or a split screen sort of thing where I'm sure I don't think it's a body double per se like you see in some other films. I think I don't even know. I mean, it was pretty clean because you see a lot of interaction between the two. You've seen a
Mm.
lot of the even the fight sequences between the two. Like so, I think I was very mesmerized by the way that they were able to not make it seem very clunky. Right? At times we've seen things be a little like, oh, that doesn't he doesn't look like it. Like for instance, maybe um, I mean, I think the only other instance where I've seen something be so seamless is the Winklevoss twins in Social Network. The Army Hammer, both of them
Yeah,
being
yeah.
there. I think that's the only last time I remember seeing something, and I'm like, oh, are they twins? Because Harry Potter is definitely they are two different people. So yeah, it was just like so something like that. That was pretty cool. But yeah, the personalities, right? Like Smoke and Stacks, really distinct, different personalities. Um, and yeah, of all out of the two, which one would you have been okay to kind of let go to the dark side? Were you
Stack,
happy? Yeah, were you happy
like
with the
I'm
decision to kind of mm, get rid of Stack in a way?
not necessarily get rid of Stack per se, but like I think of the two characters, I felt like Smoke was more up to kind of facing his past head on, kind of a thing, and he was in a lot of ways the more responsible one for sure.
Mm,
And he had like these clear notions of what he needs to do, what um, where they need to get, and all of that, and clear defined boundaries of what is okay and what is not, as opposed to Stack, which felt more like even in things like where he's lying about certain things, right? Like um, especially to people who look up to him, because Sammy, right? Sammy looks up to him so much, but considering the close bond they're supposed to have, he's like outright lying to him where there's no need for such a thing, kind of a thing.
about
So
the
yeah,
guitar?
out of the two brothers, out of the
Yeah.
two brothers for sure, I think Smoke, a remaining human, is the more um, like the one the aspect that I like better. I like that about him. Um, I feel like even though he's outright looks seems very rude and stuff like that, he is the more redeemable brother of the two for me. Uh,
Okay. How do you say
like so I
redeemable?
wouldn't.
What are you in what way are they get redeeming themselves in?
Um, I mean, for me, what it felt like was they're trying to give back to the community in a way, but also with Smoke, it was like not doing that in a way where they're kind of run themselves into the ground, kind of a thing, or at least that's what I thought it was like. I don't know if you guys got that feeling, but in the way things were being planned and the conversations that were being had over the the financial aspects, right? Like they're discussing what that is like and how they're planning on to take this forward and stuff like that. Even with her, like what's his
Mary or no?
Mary, yeah, like how he the brother Stack quickly is like, okay, like why don't you go check what they're able to offer and stuff like that. Whereas with Smoke, it was clear, like no, like these guys are trouble. We need to draw the line here because we need to take care of our own or whatever. Like those kind of things made me feel like Smoke is definitely the more redeemable person. Also, coming back to the point you made about how good they looked on the screen together. Like it was so
Yeah.
difficult to focus that they're not really twins, but the same actor playing a double role. I think that's one of the reasons why Warner Brother had to sell themselves off uh, because of the kind of money that's gone
Really?
into making it seem seamless. No, I'm just saying. I mean,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
the
I was like,
costs of production
yeah,
that would
okay.
go into this. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is possible. I remember doing one thing with the iPhone where there was this app where you could do a split screen. So it is possible to kind of make it seem that way, but I'm sure they've got a decent budget. But yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah. But Smoke was the eldest of the two? Elder of the
Yeah,
two? Okay.
Smoke was the elder one. I felt like, yeah, he was probably more equipped to kind of deal with the situation. He's the one who, uh, I think, sent their father along also. So he so he has put a loved one into the ground before. So
Yeah.
yeah, he was definitely more equipped to handle the situation. And I think, like Naeem mentioned, the way he kind of is kind but also not so kind or doesn't show it, like in the way how he kind of teaches that girl to negotiate or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he also, like, he wants to teach that guy a lesson who was like stealing from the truck, so he just shoots him in the leg and then pays for the medical thing or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, so he was, I won't say he's a nice guy, but yeah, he's also not as bad as he may appear to be. But yeah, I don't think Stack was that bad either. It was just that I felt like he was more impulsive and like more sort of like more for having a good time. And I think Smoke was a little bit more level headed in terms of, things to do. Like I think even like how uh, I think how Stack sent Mary off, that was probably a dumb move because you kind of sending her out alone and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It was pretty. Uh, Again, it wasn't the smartest of decisions. So you would kind of think that you would have more moments like that way had all these people depended on him in the end. So yeah, I guess in the end it made for better sense, but who knows? It probably would have been a little bit more entertaining had it been Stack that
Yeah.
was left behind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I like the relationship that they had as well with their lovers or exes, I suppose. Right?
Yeah.
Smoke with Annie was a lot more complex. I first didn't know what to expect, right? Because obviously she's a lot more mature, serious. Of course, they've also lost a child together, so that of course plays a huge role in their relationship. But it was nice to see that they still had that. What would you call it? I think trust, right, in each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was no bad blood kind of between them, though they went their separate ways or whatever. So there was
Yeah.
still some sort of whatever. Mm.
It was hilarious that they lost their child, and the first, I mean, so probably the second scene that we see in them, they're already trying for another one. But yeah, I think no, it was I really loved Annie as a character because she's like in this sort of game, in this sort of movie or this game that's being played, right, where there is a supernatural element being added, and the supernatural, the element has certain rules by which they need to live by, which means that they can't enter buildings without being let in or all of that, right? There's always that one character that knows all of this voodoo, all this crap stuff. And it's nice that it was Annie. I think it was probably the best choice, that it was had to be her, given about her past and all of that. So it was nice that and also the fact that initially she thought it was something else. She thought it was a Hane or something rather than
Yeah.
a vampire. And so, but it's from the lore that she hears and everything. So it was nice that Annie was that character, and she plays it up quite well. She probably knows that, I guess, there was no running away from this, right?
I
They
kept
had to
thinking
wait
Hane
it.
was like that's what they call vampires in their language or something.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. Turns out it was wrong. It was not. So okay, cool.
Yeah, because at the start as well, they were talking about how like the blues music brings in these different, and they were called certain different things in different cultures. So yeah, I
Yeah.
also thought the same. It's like when she kept saying Hane, I was like, oh okay, yeah, maybe they're Hanes. We call them vampires. They call them Hanes in the 1930s. And it's only after she throws that pickled garlic on Stack is like, yeah. But
We'll
awesome
probably
though,
have a prequel.
hilarious though, she throws pickled garlic on Stack, and he runs away right to the other vampires, juiced up in pickled garlic. Ideally, even the other, like the other vampires wouldn't want nothing to do with them, like considering he's just stinking of garlic, unless it just vaporizes the moment it touches him. I don't know. Yeah.
But tell me this: is it only when you um hurt the main vampire, like the one who turned them all, that they feel the pain, or is it like any one of them gets stabbed and they all feel the pain?
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? So technically, it's the hive mind, which should be that only Remic's hive mind or Remic's mind, if he gets hurt, the others do, right? Uh,
But a hive mind would be like, if for
anyone.
instance, we're all connected, if I'm getting hurt, you feel it, and through you also Aaron feels it, even if you're the main guy who turned the others into
But I
this.
Yeah,
think it wasn't that way, right? Because I mean, otherwise, while they were killing the others, then all of them would
Yeah,
have been
exactly.
grimacing or whatever. So I think it was only if they
The
were hurting
creator was
Remick,
being,
then yeah.
yeah.
but what is the exception though? Because Remick, I mean, coming to spoiler territory, when Remick dies, obviously Stack and Mary are still alive, and Annie does mention that unlike a Hane, I think even if you kill the main vampire, you you the
They're
others
still
can still
connected or something. Yeah.
they can still live, because obviously when Remick dies, the other people surrounding him also perish. But I suppose that's also
But
because no,
yeah,
but that's because from
Of
the sun, I'm
the
guessing.
sun.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair, okay, it's
It
not
just
the other.
breaks this
Yeah,
thing.
it
They
was. I
feel the
think
pain,
they
they don't
just
die.
felt the pain. I think
Yeah.
like when Sammy smashes the guitar on his head, so all
Yeah,
of them were
that's
holding their head and stuff like that. That was that was a pretty cool scene though. But yeah, I think in the end it was the sun that uh,
That
probably did the final blow
yeah,
or dealt the final blow.
that scene though of, yeah, fighting in the river or the lake or whatever, right, uh, where Remick comes with his big ass hands and starts scratching him, reminded me of House of Ashes, the Man of Medan
game.
game. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
the
I don't.
one of the, I think that had the vampire thing where Ashley Tisdale, that character, where they go into the cave down in the
That's
Middle
not House of
Eastern.
Ashes.
It is also.
That's no.
No, because I haven't played House of Ashes,
Yeah,
so it cannot be
you're
that.
talking about Until Dawn.
No.
No,
Uh,
Ashley Tisdale is not in Until Dawn.
yes, definitely.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. The
You
House of
remember
It
when
is
Ashes,
they?
that one which is in
the
some
temple thing,
desert.
Yeah,
the
It
temple
was
thing,
the
right?
desert thingy, yeah.
yeah, the desert one, the Middle Eastern thing where they
Yeah,
go
yeah,
as
yeah.
troops.
Yeah.
It was House of, because it was Man of Medan is the first one. Then the second one was that The one with Will Poulter. Was that House of Ashes?
That village thing?
Maybe, because I don't remember the Will
Oh
Poulter
yeah,
one.
no, that was some town. That was some. Remember the bus thing where you're just walking in? Yeah, no, we've all played it. That's the one where I was. Okay, we're diverting, but anyway,
The
it
one we
reminded me.
played together. That was Black Mirror or something, right?
No, wait, we'll come to that. Black Mirror is the TV
Some
show.
mirror it was or something. Black something. I don't know.
Yeah, some mirror.
No,
Yes,
you're talking about the other game, the Twin Mirror or something like
Twin
Twin
Mirror,
Peaks
yeah. Twin Mirror.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks again, a TV show.
series. It's a
Okay.
series.
Yeah. All right.
Good
All right. No,
one.
but it reminded me of that. We'll come to whichever that is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
All right. So it reminded me of that slightly because of the vampire-ness of it. But yeah, okay. So so talking about the other one, I loved Haley Steinfeld as well as Mary. Fun character, right? A
Yeah.
bit naive, obviously having to go out into those woods to thinking that all is good. Probably shouldn't. But some very interesting dialogues, very fun character to be portrayed. Unfortunately, I don't think she had too much of a role as well. Like post the initial, I think
Yeah.
initial bit. After that, there's not much that we hear from her. So that's probably slightly disappointing, but yeah, fun character nonetheless.
So,
Yeah, it was an
what
interesting
exactly
character. I
was her
think.
story? So she obviously got married to someone, and was
Mm.
she still staying in that town, or she had just come to visit that town?
To bury her mother, right?
That's the only reason she comes back. So it's not like she's living there.
No,
Okay.
because she's in the railway station, I'm guessing, planning to get back at some point.
Okay, got it. That's what I was wondering what the railway station scene was about, like where she was headed, or she was waiting to receive someone. Or she.
Yeah. No, I think she was headed because I don't think she knows anyone else there. Or rather, not anyone else. Like, no, she knows the town, but it's not like anyone familiar. Like the boys are the twins are who she knows quite well, right? And so there's nothing left for her in that town. So I'm guessing she was getting back, and that's when she sees Stack. Yeah, Stack at the railway station when he was picking up Slim. I like the sort of Avengers Assemble thing where they're going around picking up people who would be part of the juke joint. So Slim was a really nice character, veteran character. What's his name?
Cornbread was pretty cool.
Cornbread was fun, and so I like that those elements.
Cornbread
Like,
is the guy who's out manning the door.
Yeah,
the cotton farm picker.
Yeah, damn, he was a damn.
But I even liked Bocha or whatever his name. I mean, I don't know what it was. It's not like he had a whole lot of dialogue or anything, but his character just seemed cool. So
he looked like he would fit into a mafia game.
The cornbread guy gets like really spooked out when he goes to take a leak. Obviously, he meets his end. The poor guy, it's like he's taking a leak. He needs to pause. He's like, and then he again resumes, and then like, okay. Cool.
I will tell one thing though. Like Mary, I don't understand. I mean, she naive probably is the right word. Like, why turn your back on them? You clearly know that they're not human of some sort, or they're not right. Like, why would you turn your back? Like you back away with your eyes completely on them. I know probably that doesn't help.
I mean, it was like quite a distance, right? How much are you going to be like walking backwards?
keep doing it that way. Keep walking it that way. Just like, I mean, the moment she turned her
probably
back,
also scream out like, "Hey guys, because of the audio!" Like kind of a thing, like it doesn't make sense.
The only one that would hear you is Cornbread, and that guy's not getting there anytime soon. So.
At least
no. I mean, Cornbread had the pace in him once he became a vampire. That
after he was bitten.
Yeah. I know, but oh my god, that scene was hilarious where they chucked the poor guy out. Though I was like, the moment they realized he was just drunk, I was like, fuck, no.
But I'm trying to understand, how do you mistake Irish beer for blood? Like, sure, it's dark, but
just that that
No,
whole
but it is the red
trauma.
color. There are red beers that I'm guessing that's what probably. But
I
yeah,
know, but they were dragging him. It was not like he was right next to the door and they chucked him out. Right? They were dragging him. You see no wound, nothing. I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
or he
But
had
okay,
the scratches. I think he did have, because I think with that he's the guy with the razor or
who
whatever, right? So I
got cut by the
cut.
razor?
Yeah, I think so. So that's what I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, yeah. So that was him. That was definitely him. I think that's what they thought was. I think somebody would have gotten to him. So yeah, poor guy.
And that whole scene of the garlic pit. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Oh,
Because I was so invested in it. I was like,
Um,
who the hell is this thing in this? Like, I want to know who it is. And honestly, I was like, they're making it too obvious if it's that character, right? The guy who plays the
the slim. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
him, right? I was like, it cannot be him, and yet everyone else eats it, and it comes out to him, and he's like being. I'm like, no, it cannot be. But if it's not him, then who's left? Kind of a thing, right? And then
Yeah.
it just turns out, no, they screwed that guy over. I was like, oh shit, man, damn, idiots. But I
But
mean, I get
honest,
it. They're under
yeah,
severe stress.
but Pearline, man, I'm with smoke on that. Like, you eat the garlic. She was creating such a fuss for eating garlic. I was
I
like,
don't.
yeah. He
Yeah.
was like, I don't like the taste of it. What the hell?
Who cares
you.
if you do or don't? We're trying to survive.
I loved it when he smashed Sammy in the face though. That was like, do one more for good measure.
Yeah, I was like, shut up, dude. Like, you can't be doing this shit. But yeah, that was hilarious. But
Sammy's
that was a
personality also is
good
very
way though to, obviously, if you were to ever find out or want to find out who was a vampire, feed them a bit of garlic and see.
nice.
So the ways of beating a vampire was obviously garlic, holy water, a steak
Everything
would
you know about them from before.
before, yeah.
So sunlight for sure, steak for sure, silver bullets for definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
Could you get silver bullet? I don't think that's the one thing that they had, right? Everything else.
but
Yeah.
they did say silver this thing, right?
Oh,
They
did.
mentioned silver, but I mean Annie, I think mentioned silver, but they didn't have.
I think the only silver thing that they had was the one in the guitar which sliced Remix's head into
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bit. Yeah. Okay. Because otherwise, wood. I didn't think wood could beat vampires. I was very surprised by wood.
Take
That
to the
was
heart
just
of-
stake to the heart, no? That's
Oh, is that the
of
one?
like
Okay, okay.
those. Yeah.
Okay. I thought stick to the and wood also. I was like, then grab anything. This entire place is out of wood.
Just let them into the.
Beat them to hell.
Yeah, just come in.
That also, by the way, like
Oh yeah.
that scene, I was like, bro, chuck her out. Screw it, chuck her out. You know it's coming. Just chuck her out, man. Oh, she's screaming.
But what sense did it make for him to go out? And if he had gone out, why come back? Just be with your daughter there, right? Why the fuck are you coming back like that?
But he was already bitten, right?
What are you talking
So
about? He
there
never
were-
got
he-
the daughter.
He never
just
got
stepped
to the
out.
car. He just got bitten, and
Yeah,
that
he
was
was
it.
gone.
right?
He
No.
never had the opportunity to go to the daughter.
He
and
just
come
sent
back.
him to start the car
Oh
so
yeah,
they could leave.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought, yeah.
Get the car.
No,
The car is not parked at home, bro. Like, get the car. Like,
no, no.
nice.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Are you
correct.
sure you were not sleepy and watched
No,
this
no,
at
no.
2
I. So the part that I thought was
Maybe it did get too. The horror was too much for him. Maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
No, so that's right. So I thought that he went to check, and then when he came back, he got bit. But yeah, obviously, in the first time when he went out, he would have obviously, yeah, stupid. But yes, yeah, when she yelled, oh my god, like find tape, find something, check her out here, Jack, dumbass.
I would have said for smoke to knock her out. The way he was trying, like he did it to Sammy. Right?
The moment she said
Yeah.
come, in or whatever like that, right? She couldn't say the full thing, like straight take the end of a knife, end of a gun, and then hit her on the head.
But what's the point? After she said come in, there's
No.
point to take.
They cover her mouth when she says come, and then she bites and then screams, "Come in, mother."
Ah, yeah.
So the first time when they know that she's about to say that, right?
But I'm just saying, could they have? I mean, okay, obviously for the sake of the movie, but just imagine you just said, "Hey, none of you are what she called you, so you aren't allowed."
She didn't tell you. She didn't tell you. I was just entering the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me
But
ID. Are you that? No.
she said, "Come in, motherfucker." Are you motherfucker?
Which one of you are?
I think Stack could have come in like this. I am.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think. So, but also, what I liked about it is post that the aspect ratio changes. I like that entire battle scene where you're seeing the aspect ratio
Okay,
like that, and
so
then it.
that's funny. Okay, here's the thing. I was watching it, and by mistake, I pressed the button where it went out of the app. Right now, I come back in, and the next scene is where the aspect ratio is. I'm like, I'm sure it was not like this. Like, why is it? What setting? I spent 5 minutes looking for a setting that would, like change that back. Eventually, I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, let me close the app and try it again. So I booted the TV, and it's still like that, right? And it irritated the shit out of me. But it continued on, and then the scene resumes where it goes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, come on.
So I love the aspect ratio from when it becomes 16:9 to that full thing. But the
Yeah.
fact when it becomes back to 69 is so abrupt. It's like post the Remick dying thing, it just becomes back to this. And I'm like, you did it in a cool way where it transitioned, and now suddenly it just like changes. And that for me was very abrupt. And yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that entire thing. Let's talk about the biggest thing about this movie, which is the music and the score, right? Because I think this entire thing does revolve around blues music and music in general. What do you guys make of both? I mean, so you have the blues music from Sammy and the Smoke, that community, and you had the sort of Irish song and the Big Poor Robin Clean, which was a effed up lyric, right? But yeah, so that was I really loved that. I mean, I love the song in the jive that Sammy sings, and then you have the variations of sort of black hip hop and black culture, black song music come about with the DJing and then the electric guitars and then the traditional ones. Yeah, it was for me
For me,
standout.
first time when he's taking him, right? Stack is taking him to the other places, and he gets him to sing that first time. Like, the tune itself was pretty cool, but when he starts singing, I was like, oh my god, this guy can sing! Damn, that was like really damn good, kind of a thing. And like my reaction was kind of like, even though I was quite sleepy and I was actually not reacting, but in my head it felt like it was pretty aligned with the way my Stack was reacting to him. Like, damn, you can really sing. Yeah. So that was really nice to see. Yeah, very strong music. I also like this whole concept of how I think we'll jump onto that later, but probably like let Aaron give his thoughts on this before we kind of move into that.
Yeah, I
Which is
thought
the
the music was pretty cool. I think that scene where they're in the juke house and they kind of show the different cultures and all the kind of amalgamation of the different types of music. That was a pretty cool scene. I also like the whole folk music or Irish music, whatever that was, uh, which was like, it was not a whole lot of instrument kind of stuff, but it was more just the singing and then whatever the tap dancing and that kind of stuff, which was pretty cool because uh, it also kind of shows you a different sort of aspect to music where it's not a whole lot of instruments and kind of just people enjoying themselves. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, the scenic backdrop is something like when that Irish music is playing, while it's like a very fun track in its way, it was very unnerving, and like it just felt like, man, something's gonna happen, kind of a thing. Which eventually, obviously, it does. But it's just that it just I don't know, like this, the way it was flowing was damn cool to me. The song in itself and the seriousness of the scene or the impending doom that I was feeling
Yeah.
throughout.
I love the fact that Remig just met, I think, Joan and Bert or whatever, the two clan members, and they're perfectly in sync when they're doing the pick for
Yes.
that's awesome. Like obviously it's a hive mind, so whatever he's doing, I'm guessing they're following as well. But it was really nice. I think music overall was pretty awesome. Even the soundtrack, right? Even the ending, there's that where after smoke stakes Remy through the heart, it becomes like it's a lot more like metal
Yeah.
music and rock music there. And I think kudos to Ludwig. I think he's probably going to win another Oscar anyway. But the same guy who did
Who's done the
Oppenheimer.
music? Not just Oppenheimer, he's also done this one, right? What is it? Star Wars Grogu thing?
Oh, did he? Mandalorian? Yeah, I think he probably did. Yeah. Let me just check, but I'm sure he.
I'm sure it isn't.
Oh, he did Black Panther as well. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. He did Tenet. He did Venom. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he did Mandalorian. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Huh.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
What did you guys think about the symbolic aspects of the movie, like in terms of?
What did you make of it? What did you mean by it, rather than before you ask us? I
obviously,
don't
like,
know about.
I mean, the way you see it, right? Like, the racist aspects that obviously you have the clan bit and stuff like that, but also I felt like with the blues bit and how the vampires see it, kind of a thing. How I was envisioning it, that is the right word, right? Yeah. It was in the sense that this guy is a raw talent, obviously the artist, which is Sammy, and uh, the vampire in this, like the leader, Remick, right? He's more of a, what these production houses or things like that, kind of a thing, who find these raw talents and then kind of suck them dry from a perspective of the talent they have, without actually rewarding them for what they probably deserve, right? Like that I mean, I don't know if that is what they were going for, but it felt very much like that to me in the way things were, because obviously he sees him as a sole talent which pulls him towards that whole thing. So, and he offers him like the world and stuff like that, but you don't really see the underlying, what do you say, unwritten aspects of the contract or whatever you're
The
gonna call
fine
it.
notes, the fine print at the end. Yeah, the fine print, which is
so it felt very much like that to me in terms of that blues aspect, because I thought like that's the angle they're probably trying to go with. One is the obvious one which you see with the clan, but this is the other one that you kind of see, suppose.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. I obviously the one that's on the nose is the the fact that they're a black community in a very white populated country, right? So yeah, I don't think I ever saw that. I just thought that this was like they how do I put it that way? So it's more that they found their happy place, right? And here are a bunch of white people coming to ruin it in a way.
Yeah.
Right.
So
like
I think I was feeling that was initially the initial conversation where this guy, right, Smoke, he kind of discourages this guy from pursuing that whole this thing, because I feel like he knows that he will be used and kind of tossed away and stuff like that, and you won't get what is the true worth of it, kind of a thing, right? Like what's the true worth of his talent and stuff like that, and that's why he's discouraging him and stuff. And from that aspect, this whole vampirism
yeah,
thing and stuff.
for me, I thought it was also a little bit of like no one will appreciate you because you are of a different skin at this point in time. So like, um, you'll be having to face these battles, and you'll have to prove yourself again and again, and you'll have to like, it's also a music that is not known to a lot of people. Like blues is a very specific type of music, right? Like jazz and everything. Like not a lot of people can get into blues and jazz because it takes it takes someone who appreciates that art form per se. It's not your regular pop or rock or like even metal, right? It's not a usual this thing. So I think that, plus also, yeah, maybe the time period for which they were like, do not get into this because it could, yeah, you'll just end up wasting your life where at a time when nobody's really going to appreciate it. And the troubles that happen when you travel and you go away, because the fact is that they just probably because they didn't make it big in Chicago, and that the fact that they had to come back and try and you know make a living, he didn't want someone else to have that same fate where they're going outside their home and then having to come back as a failure per se. So maybe that's what probably I looked at it at. Yeah, but that's interesting. I mean, I'd never really thought about the sort of agency aspect of kind of manipulating or utilizing or doing that with someone. That's an interesting take. You should probably check it out again. Yeah. All right. With that being said, I mean, let's talk about the three endings that were there, right? So the first ending is the end of the vampire clan, right? The death of Remick and the others. For me personally, I mean, like I was praising the cinematography, I was praising like the camera work. I don't know, just the last bit, and maybe it's more the prosthetics of a wounded Remick and all of that. It just felt like a blob at the end of the, like before he became what is it? A whirlpool, not a whirlpool, was a tornado of fire, right?
Yeah.
Before that, so it just felt very like I didn't know what I was seeing. It just felt very bad CGI at that point in time, and I don't know what it was, but it just felt odd and off. And even I don't know, even when the fight in the lake, the hands and all look cool, but it just felt a bit off. Like something felt jarring for me there, where I was like, it just took me away from what had been a really great spectacle with even the vampires. I like the fact that they weren't supernatural creatures. They were just human beings with obviously the fangs and the red eyes and all. They didn't have the features of being like a man bat of sorts, right? With the
Yeah,
massive.
I think that's probably where it lost me a bit as well, because it kind of was more realistic for the most part, and then here it suddenly went a little bit more, I don't know, probably a little bit more imaginative than it needed to be. And
Mm.
I also felt like, you're talking about the CGI, I also felt like the rest of the vampires, when they were getting burnt, kind of felt more, uh, I won't say cartoony, but it felt like you were watching a dated scene kind of thing, because it didn't look as realistic as you probably would have thought it should at this for this kind of movie. But yeah, I felt that was the kind of only letdown in terms of that scene where, yeah, the realism kind of was lost, and then certain CGI aspects I wasn't a fan of.
Probably.
Also, the added thing is, where the fuck did smoke come from, right? He's holding this giant ass stake. Right? There are a bunch of vampires around that entire lake.
Yeah, so
Where the
all of them were like, "Oh," and this
they're like,
guy walks past them.
like,
They're too
yeah.
busy enjoying the spectacle that was being unfolded in front.
Enjoying, no? I mean, by that time, he'd already had a silver thing to the side of his head.
Yeah, from the guitar.
Yeah, by this guy, right?
Yeah.
Sammy.
Yeah.
So they were all engrossed in that battle, or not battle per se, but whatever was
They
being
all must have been like, "Fight, fight, fight, fight," and then like, "Oh shit!"
I almost for a brief second, I thought that Remick was mistakenly going to baptize Sammy and turn that lake into holy water.
What?
he kept drowning him down. I was like, this guy's gonna say some prayer and suddenly it's gonna turn into this holy water of sorts. But yeah, I'm glad he didn't go that way. But the other being smoke coming with a massive stake out of nowhere felt a bit too Bollywood for my take. Yeah, but go ahead.
His name is Smoke, so they could not see him coming.
Yeah, sure. Okay, nor did they see the sun as well. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they were battling at the lake and at the same time Smoke was giving Stack instructions of like, do not go next to Sammy for a long time, like stay away. And then next moment he's like, I'm there already. Yes, that just felt a bit. But Naeem, go ahead. You were saying something
It
about
was
that.
required. It needed it to be that way, kind of a thing. It felt very much like the Night King and how
Yeah.
Arya Stark like gets past everyone and
Yeah.
stabs.
Yeah. I was going to say something Game of Thrones. I was like, let's not get into it. But I was like,
That's
yeah,
not. Yeah, we can't. We just watched A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, so we're still in that universe. We can't let go of it yet, just yet.
Yeah. So what did you make of the ending, the first ending though?
So the first ending again is the vampire fight we're talking about, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like the brother fight that was happening initially, between the two twins, obviously. And that whole dilemma of whether or not he wants to subdue him, but whether he'll go ahead and kill him was like the question mark kind of a thing. And in that moment I did think this guy's gonna let him go kind of a thing, but they actually do a pretty good job of like, at least for me, like I completely forgot
The sign
about.
off.
Yeah, like I just felt like, okay, like he's gone kind of a thing, right? Like, and because in that split second of a moment where he's there, I'm like, I felt like he's gonna let him go kind of a thing. And then you eventually to, I think, the remix scene that's happening,
Yeah.
and you kind of just very into that, and it's like that whole scene is like gone. I have forgotten about it, kind of a thing. Which obviously pays off heavily when you see the final scene that comes off much later. Like I did kind of feel surprised in a certain way, also, but it's very weird. Like surprised in a way, but also not surprised in the sense that, oh, I think I saw that coming, kind of a thing. Um, but yeah, the action in itself was pretty cool. Love the thing where the guitar like just slices through. Um, I don't know if the water battle was supposed to be symbolic in any way. I don't think I had any more energy after that bit to see look for any symbolic nature, especially the holy water aspect. I never thought of if that was something that was gonna happen.
Because he was I think saying a prayer
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he was mocking him at the same time. So I was like, that's not gonna work out well. But yeah. Yeah, so that's ending one. Ending two is the battle with the clan.
Battle with the clan, yeah.
Yeah.
I, very strategic. Was pretty cool to see that. It was very much like a sniper game of sorts or something. There's also a movie, right? That I don't remember, but I've not watched it either. I've just seen the trailer of it, which is like a sniper taking out multiple targets. It's focused on probably an American soldier. I'm not quite sure.
American
But
Sniper?
lens could be, I don't know. But I just remember seeing the trailer of it and stuff like that. And yeah, I like the aspect that it wasn't overly done in terms of him going Bollywood style and like stabbing all of them and stuff like that. It was more strategic. Like he knew.
He
It
did
showed
go
that
Bollywood style, like
yeah, that's Al Capone, right? Like with the machine gun style kind of a thing. So you do see the mafia esque touch to it. I did think I was actually wondering if they would come with that gun, because I've seen that gun in Mafia 2, the
Tommy
game.
gun.
Tommy gun, right? Yeah.
The one with the round thing.
I did wonder with their links to Al Capone if we would see that kind of a gun at some point, kind of a thing. And then yeah, it did eventually pop up. It was pretty fun to see the way he kind of.
But did you think it was like a very different? I mean, I understand that they had to take care of the clan because they had mentioned it during the movie that the clan had envisioned that they would come and ambush them in the morning, right? After letting them be a part of this, letting them juke for the night. So while that is there, it just felt like I was watching a slightly different movie with when it came to that bit. Just because it became very symbolic, very like music general and all of that supernatural to just becoming pure action for that little bit of time. So that for me just felt like, oh, okay, I guess you had to take care of them in this way. But yeah, I don't know whether it was actually required from my end.
I don't know. I was fine. I think it was a nod to their past in terms of who they are, like what they've managed to achieve, kind of a thing. Like they did seem to have done. I don't know. I mean, they left probably, or maybe it was a hint at they didn't leave their previous career for the fact that they were not good at it, but more so from a perspective of how they were being treated, perhaps. And which is why, and in this scene, again, I'm probably thinking way too much into it. Maybe it's a hint at that they were good at taking care of the business if they needed to, per se, but the only reason they return is because of the treatment they're getting, perhaps. Kind of a thing. I don't know. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
So,
It's like putting
Yeah,
a bow on that story, kind of a thing, like finishing
yeah,
touch.
yeah. I mean, personally, I thought like the movie could have done without it. Having said that, I think it was shot pretty well, and maybe it was more kind of maybe like a symbolic thing, like how Naeem spotted other aspects in the movie. Maybe it was more about just eventually overcoming those kind of things which were like against the KKK clan or whatever. And so it was just a nod at how, how history played out, and eventually they kind of overcame that.
yeah, no, that's right. Okay, yeah, fair. I mean, yeah, I guess that's the only reason why I would think they had that. And like you mentioned the name, I think it was more to just come full circle because there were a lot of talks, conversations between Annie and Smoke about the child, and we'll see you in, you know, the the next life or afterlife. And so that was a nice way of maybe putting a bow on it. And but
Mm.
we come to I like my favorite ending, which is probably the third ending, which is we see Sammy finally, not listen to his father and go on his own journey and be very, very successful in that journey. And lo and behold, I mean, we do see that both Mary and Stack are still alive. They had a good end. I mean, as much as Annie and Smoke had a happy ending in what they wanted to happen. I guess for Mary and Stack as well, it was a happy ending that they could be together forever. And yeah, that was a nice thing. I mean, obviously, a nice touch. Obviously, time has also elapsed so much that it's now a more, I guess, seven, 80s would have been. Because the kind of
I
clothes that
guess
they were
so.
wearing, 80s, 90s, I'm guessing, was what
Yeah.
they would have been wearing.
30s is where you meet them, right? Initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably Sammy is in his 20s at the time.
Or much earlier. I don't know, he's a
I
kid.
think,
So he must be
yeah.
in his teens, 8,
Yeah,
16, 17. So you're
so
looking at, yeah,
3 years on, yeah. Makes sense.
yeah. Could be. Just because of the clothes that they were wearing and the fact that he's got the bling of Stack, which is awesome. I mean,
Mm.
so on brand for Stack to have that. Uh, and yeah, I really love the ending where he talks about the fact that he's still not yet over what had happened so many years ago, so many decades ago, and that you know before the sun set and before they
That was
opened
his
that was
most
his.
vivid. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was quite a powerful line in itself. I felt like it just for me defined like how their life in general was otherwise, and how that one specific day he felt like he found true meaning to his life, kind of a thing, and that was very powerful for me. Yeah, I really love that bit. Yeah, and for me also, for sure, definitely the third but the third ending you see is the most strongest one and my favorite one. Also, the fact that he is offered immortality and he chooses to kind of not go down that pathway kind of. And
Yeah.
as an artist, like um, it's more symbolic to be immortal. It's like his work will live on as opposed to him living on, kind of a thing.
You were full of symbolisms today.
I mean, this movie did make its waves initially. Like that's how I heard of Sinners. Like how it was this horror movie, but on so many different levels, it wasn't exactly that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's the. So when I went into the movie, I was already of the aspect that it's not what's on the face, like what's being thrown at you. That's the most obvious thing, but there are layers to this that you kind of need to unravel, kind of a thing. So I was looking at the movie from that aspect.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I really loved it. I think that especially Michael B. Jordan, I mean, Stack talking about the last time he saw his brother was, or I mean, technically, I mean, I would say the best part of Sammy's day or life would have ended just before Mary went out, because until then he was having the proper best day of his life, right? So ever since that, so it could have been fun. Yeah. Yeah, so that I think was what I guess but I understand the sentiment. I think it was a really powerful message, and I really loved the ending as well, where you're seeing him back on the back of the truck going, right. So overall, yeah, pretty fun. Let's just probably quickly do. So they're obviously not, the movie is nominated for a lot of Oscars, right? And considering that this is, I mean, I forgot to mention at the start of the movie, but this is a day we're going to be releasing this a day before the Oscars are announced. And so I think we'd probably just say yes or no whether we think, not that we probably watched a lot of the other movies to decide, but whether this was worthy of at least being nominated as one, right? Or at least in terms of this. So best picture that you watched for this year so far, that would it be one of the top ones that you watched so far?
For me,
I think maybe one of the better ones we watched this year. But in terms of, if you would say, I mean, maybe at the start of the year, if you would have said uh, there was going to be nothing better than this to kind of be nominated for the Oscar, you would kind of be like, well, probably not the greatest year for movies then, I guess. But I mean, again, it wasn't a bad movie, but
I'll put this into
would you
context.
nominate?
I'll put this into context that F1 has been nominated for Best Picture as well.
yeah, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so that kind of then doubles down on what I'm saying, right? I mean,
given what we've watched, I think F1, Frankenstein, and this, right? So these are the three that we've watched that have been nominated.
is Frankenstein's there, right? Okay.
Yeah. I don't really remember what I
F1
rated for
certainly not
Frankenstein,
Oscar.
but
I
think
honestly don't know
that
how that
was.
movie made it into Oscars. I thought at least the critics would have seen through.
What has it made it into the Oscars for? What nominations has it got?
So I'll tell you. So Sinners has got Best Picture. Okay. Best actor for Michael B.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Best supporting actress for Annie.
Okay.
He's got Best Original Screenplay. Fair.
Okay.
Best Supporting Actor for Slim.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That.
Right. Then you've got Best Director for Ryan Coogler. Best Original Score. I mean, I liked F1's also, to be fair, but
yeah, that's what.
I did like this. I really did like this.
You mean the music, right, or the movie?
No, the
I mean,
music.
See, the
I
actor.
like this.
I think.
You also want. So we also have cinematography, visual effects, film editing, makeup and hairstyling, costume design, production design, sound.
I
For
think they
most
tried.
of the movie, I would agree with visual or whatever you
Yeah.
said that was. Just those vampires being lit on fire that didn't quite sit too well for me. So I don't know. I don't know what were the other contenders for that. If F1 was on it, probably I think F1 probably did a better job in terms of visuals there. So
So yeah, you
yeah,
have F1, Jurassic World, Rebirth, Avatar, and Lost Bus.
I'm guessing Avatar takes that because one thing you can't compare Avatar is to the visuals. Like that's one thing that really stands out, even though we have
Should
not
be.
watched. And again, like we can't do justice to whether we think this movie deserves because we don't know we not with the
yeah, we
exception
haven't
of
watched
we
the
haven't watched the others.
competition. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So original score F1's not there. So it's Begonia, Sinners, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and One Battle After Another. Interesting.
Frankenstein was nice, but Oscar, I don't know. Like I mean, I think this was much better in terms of the music that I saw. I
Hmm.
mean that I liked. Again, one battle after another. I've not watched yet, so I don't know. Acting like the thing that I think perhaps this guy walks away with it is the duality of the role, the fact that he's playing two different characters, and for me it felt seamless in a way where it did feel two very different personalities in a lot of ways, and I really like that about his performance. So yeah, I could see like even having not watched the others, the sheer complication he has having to portray two different personalities probably gives him that
Hmm.
boost to pick up the award this year, perhaps. Again,
Yeah.
but obviously you've got Leonardo to go up against, who's
I,
known to
I've I,
deliver.
I've watched One Battle.
Okay.
Uh, I would say this is much better. I think
Oh,
his major competition would be Timothy.
for Smarty Supreme, is that what
Yeah.
it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think in terms of I love the cast. I wish Sammy maybe had gotten nominated. As much as I love Slim, I think I wish Sammy also got nominated because I think I really liked his role. But Slim, yeah, but I think maybe I don't think he wins. Funnily enough, Jacob is nominated for Frankenstein and Best Supporting Actor.
interesting.
He,
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job of that monster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, overall, like I asked, is this in the realm of the one of the better movies you watched this year? I think that's all we can probably look at it.
Hmm. I mean, see, again, I'm looking at it from an aspect of what it does with the horror genre. And in that, this thing, yeah, definitely one of the better movies I've watched, for sure. But is it like, would I put it in my top three of the year? I don't think so. I'll have to go back and rewind and see which are the movies I've watched. But I don't think this would be in the top three for the year for me. Um,
I probably would
what?
maybe.
There was Superman, and what else was there that I'm thinking of?
Uh, Frankenstein is something you really liked.
I did like Frankenstein quite a bit, but I do think this is for me like felt better, even though I was quite sleepy. I like the complexities and how everything came together and the symbolism and things like that. So and performance, like for me, for sure, Jordan's performance was a standout in this. Um, but again, like I mean, I don't know. I'll have to
Yeah.
like do a quick jog through of which are the movies that I watch. I can't remember. Did
Yeah.
it
yeah.
go
I
to?
think I'm of similar thing. Yeah, I feel like this was a good movie, but if I was going to say that this is in my top three, then I've probably had quite a disappointing year. Uh, uh, in terms of even Michael B. Jordan's character, yes, he did a good job, but I kind of feel like this is the type of character that I would probably see him playing. Now, I don't know if that's because he's done similar roles in the past, but it kind of feels like those are a very Michael B. Jordan sort of playbook kind of characters. And so, yeah, I mean, good job, but I mean, I think I would need to see some more versatility in terms of the
Because I think
roles.
Stack reminds me of his Killmonger type character where he's got the ego and the
Exactly.
Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
name. Smoke is someone probably I've not seen in his premiere. I haven't watched Creed, so I wouldn't know how he's portrayed it and all that. But I do know he's played some really serious roles. I think for me, I think my first introduction to Michael B. Jordan was in The Wire. He was a kid at that time, and
Hmm.
like he plays it so well. Short roles, short. I think it's them maybe for a season or so. But yeah, I think one of my favorite roles of his. But yeah, I agree. I think honestly, I watched One Battle. I watched that. I don't think I watched any of the other Oscar-nominated Best Actors, and I'm not like unlike this year. Unlike previous years, I'm not really like sold on one particular movie per se, right? Like, oh my god, this has to definitely win, right? And so yeah, I guess it's anyone's game. Yeah, I'll have to probably look at what else is there. But yeah. I
Yeah.
guess that's a good time to call it a day. I think the sun's also setting here, so before we before we sort of irritate the vampires anymore, I think it's time to call it a day. Thanks to
Yeah.
everyone
Mm.
listening to this podcast. Do hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram as well, and we will catch you all on our next
Don't forget
episode.
to invite us in.
Yeah.
Yes. We're inviting you in here, and don't worry, we'll keep Naeem on a leash there so that he doesn't go on his murderous rampage. But yes, yeah, we'll make sure that, or rather, we should be scared about letting people subscribe, shouldn't we? Because what if a vampire subscribes to our channel? It suck off
I mean, uh,
all of our.
Sucks off the few subscribers we have. Like, okay.
I don't think that
Yeah.
do
I don't
you
think
want to
anyone's sucking off.
rephrase that?
No, no, yeah. I don't think vampires are sucking anyone off, but they're just yeah. Name. I think we've just lost even the ones that we had, but yes. Yeah. I think we will catch you all on our next episode. Until then, see you.